I'm getting to the point, like, I'm so hungry. Like, I see the Sweet 16 girls, like, walking around with cake.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving week. For me, the pinnacle, the top spot on the Mount Rushmore of holidays goes to Thanksgiving for me. So very excited, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Thank you, brother. But every day's a holiday where you don't replace me with Dom Bagnato for a week. So that's what matters.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say every day's a holiday when I get to work with you. Or you were going to say every day's a holiday when you're Mike Burlew.
No, I mean, both are technically true. I mean, the latter one, extremely true. Every day's a Burlew holiday, but...
So you're telling me when you get almost kicked out of the gym for smelling, you would still qualify as a holiday for you?
That's a holiday, baby. You know, I'm leaving work early, so it's a holiday.
Okay. So when you're embarrassed by, acting as a toothbrush in your childhood plays, that was a holiday.
Halloween. I'm dressing up.
When you almost got married to a Bulgarian, I don't know what you would call her,
well, she wasn't a call girl. She was a friend who wanted a green card, and they were kind of pushing it. But at the same time, it was like I wasn't getting the benefits of said marriage. If you catch my drift.
Yep.
About sex.
Oh, hey, not so upfront in the show. That's
I whispered it. Did they hear it?
We save that for the dirty half hour at the end, where no one's listening.
Burlew's erotic fan fiction coming soon to a channel near you.
We do 30 minutes clean, then a guest, and then 30 minutes of pure raunch at the end.
I got you. It's like cable. Once it hits 11:35, it's like them kiddies better be in bed.
That's it. We're like the scrambled spice channel. You gotta, you gotta watch through the box and change your whole world when you're younger.
Yeah, the key was to turn the lower TV to channel 2, and then the cable box would kind of stick on there versus going to snow.
Really?
Yeah, that was my strategy. So going into that thing.
We know your superpowers have evolved over time to hacking people's phones. Was this like the one you were like, tell your friends at school, I got something for you that is going to blow your mind?
Well, it's never like a bragging... Like, I didn't, run upstairs. I figured it out. It was just one of those, it's like, well, all right, so we don't have...
Of course you didn't run upstairs to your family and tell them you figured it out.
Yeah, that's when Dad took away that channel, man. It was terrible.
But you probably ran to your buddies at school and told them you figured it out.
Well, it was never a great view. That's why it's not a bragging point of it. Like, kids don't understand. Like, kids can just... enter a porn site into their phone and get whatever you want to know. We had to work to see a boob, and we were just happy to see a slanted green boob for a quarter of a second.
Yeah, everybody had a friend whose dad had a random stack of Playboys in the house or in the attic. Then there was always, at least by me, there was bike trails that you would take out, and there was some abandoned trailer with a bunch of magazines in it. I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of kids had a similar childhood experience.
Yeah, these kids got nothing, they're at 6, they can go into X Hamster and get their stuff. So, back in my day, we earned our porn. Okay.
I remember cutting out pictures from the JCPenney catalog, the bra section of some brown haired girl. And I was like, yeah, this is the one right here. This is the one.
Did your janitor friend cut out your picture?
Would you stop disgracing this man's name?
I mean, Scott, I was kind of thinking since the last episode. I think it was episode 50.
That's a change.
Yeah, we wasn't episode 58 called something like "I Hate Feet," and the janitor's name was a part of a foot tootsie.
That's a stretch. That's
I'm
stretched.
piecing
That's
things
stretched.
together, Scott. Scott, I keep telling you, like, you didn't call me. I know you're in pain. We can get through this. I don't want you crying during Thanksgiving. Okay.
What Mike is referring to last week, we had a great episode last week. I highly recommend episode, whatever that was, 491 or whatever, with the What's Up guy,
Scott Martin Brooks.
Yeah, great interview, really fun interview. But I told the story. I found a writing from high school, which I still have over here from last time we podcasted.
You hold it by your heart. God.
I wrote about this jacked janitor that everybody was afraid of, and I did a school newspaper article. And Mike has turned it into that maybe I was molested by him. I don't feel this is right.
To be fair, I don't use the word maybe. To be fair.
Okay. So it's definite.
Absolutely, man. It's like 100% case closed. If he wasn't already in the ground, we'd be getting lawyers involved.
Well, I'm sorry, Paul. I won't let my co-host here disgrace your great janitorial services and your kind demeanor and making a nasty potty mouth perversion that he likes to do.
And your warm, powerful hands that grab Scott in the janitor's closet.
No, I was his helper that day.
You helped him a lot.
My buddy, my best friend Alex, when we were growing up, he was a big wrestling fan. He still is. He's like you nerds, like you and Harry. And he would record all like Monday Night Raws and WCW Nitros and everything. He would record them all, pay-per-views, but he hid his adult videos under a tape, the best of Hulk Hogan in WCW. So his mom wouldn't think anything of it. So that was always a joke growing up, like, hey, can I borrow the best of Hulk Hogan in WCW?
When you found out Hulk Hogan accidentally had a porn tape out there, did it just like come, like, were you looking up his number to call him?
I wanted the real thing, the real
Bro, it happened. Inception.
So we figured today we'd start up front. We usually save our games for the end, our stupid bits, if you will. But today, unless it's your Halloween episode, which is like a 3-hour bit, So if games aren't for you, the Halloween and Christmas episodes generally aren't for you either. But we like them here. So we've done this before. First, it started, we called it like the Inconvenience Draft, and then it was more of ruining the Super Bowl for the other person. So I guess we could still call it the Inconvenience Draft, if you will, but it's more about totally decimating something and making it the worst possible thing. Like one we did on lifestyle. I remember I made Mike, I took all the knobs away from him in his life. So knobs on his cabinets, volume knobs in his car, shifting knobs in the car. So things like that. Okay.
Yep.
So we decided to try to ruin each other's Thanksgiving. Now, Mike, before you go, do you have any big plans for Thanksgiving this year?
Yeah, the wife and I, we're going over one of her friends, somebody she knows in the music community. They're having like a big family get together, and they kind of hinted that it could be one of those wild family kind of almost like sit back, get your popcorn ready, watch this kind of thing going. And also, we had no plans, so we're like, let's go, baby. I'm bringing mac and cheese, and I'm just ready to just watch them go at it.
Watch Uncle Al talk politics by dessert, Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. I'm keeping it relatively low. I'm hosting and just having my parents here and then stopping by the brothers for dessert, which is cool with me because I have kids, so it's a lot easier to stay home. But all right, Mike, give us our categories that we are going to ruin this year.
Scott, this year's categories are guess, main dish,
who you will be eating Thanksgiving dinner with,
main dish,
what you will be eating at the table,
entertainment.
What are you guys going to do after the food's done or before the food's ready?
Side or dessert items.
A side or dessert. What else? What else you got to have besides that main course?
We got the wild card, Scott.
Wild card. Any part of Thanksgiving that you choose to adjust to make it a more hellish experience for your fellow co-host. So, Mike, In Thanksgiving, in feeling the love of the holidays, I'm going to allow you to go first this year.
Okay.
For this bid, I'm feeling in a giving mood, if you will.
Ooh, okay. Did you want to pick the category I start off with, Scott?
I'm going to let you pick also.
Oh, man, I mean, my Lord. And let me say my prayers for Mr. Scott here. I'm going to start with guess, Scott. Why not? Why not? Now, Scott, you're saying that you're going to have like a pretty small family-oriented Thanksgiving coming up. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty family-oriented. Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't want to interfere with that, Scott. I'm not going to touch who is currently on your guest list. I'm not taking anybody away. I want you to go into it. And all. In fact, technically, I'm not having a physical person coming into your home as a guest.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being very nice here. Now, I will have to point out that your guests will be there rent-free in your head. Because, Scott, even though you'll have your regular family and friends and whatever going on, you'll go by the bathroom and you'll kind of hear kind of quietly, "Don't mess with me." And you'll be kind of a little befuddled, look in there, there's nobody in there. And then you'll go over into the kitchen where your old buddy Obi is there, and he's going to go, "Hello, Daddy." Okay. And then as you're going about your day and all, you might hear something like the Jersey City Joker, because Scott, the guests that are going to be there is all my imaginary friends and characters from the show in your head.
So the guy with the Russian/Jamaican accent,
Correct. The Woody Woodpecker 8 imaginary friends I had in the first grade, they're going to be there. Inderella, the Zebra Czar, they're all going to be there, and you're the only one that's going to be hearing your guests, by the way. So it's not like you can play off, "Hey, Dad, can you believe this?" This is all you, buddy, and I'm always there. I'm busy. I told you.
So only I witnessed the multiverse of Michael Burley.
Yes.
Okay, yes, so I'm hearing
the Burley multiverse in your head with no other adjustments.
Now, I don't know if I'd even be able to recognize who Inderella is, considering.
Well, the story you would know. I mean, the Indian Cinderella. I mean, she counts
for Thanksgiving. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
All right, so I'm dealing with imaginary characters. Now, there's probably dozens, if not 100, that we're not even remembering after all this time.
Oh, easily. Dirtback Dave is probably in there somewhere.
All right. The imaginary friends. Okay. It's quite a start. I don't know how to deal with that. Now, am I also having my normal guests over?
Yeah. Everything that's happening is happening with your dad, your wife, your kids, and all that. You're going to be hearing all my imaginary friends. And like I said, you can't even just go up to them and can you believe this? Can you hear this? Because they're not going to hear it. All the guests are just for you, Scotty.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Mike, you're going to have I'm a big guy. I'm a traditional guy when it comes to the holidays. I like firing up the classic Christmas movies during Christmas. I like the foods that are traditional, to have them every year. So I'm not straying too much from tradition with my picks. Oh. In fact, Mike, we're celebrating Thanksgiving in your house the right way. Coming to your house for Thanksgiving are the Pilgrims.
Oh, so I'll fit right in.
So these dirty people who have been on a boat for weeks at a time.
Probably got scurvy.
Wearing dumb belts on their head and stupid hats. They're cold. They don't know how to harvest their own food in the winter. They're not bringing much to the table. Maybe like a blanket with a disease in it.
Smallpox and all. Okay, got you. So they could take my house when Thanksgiving's over.
So all these grayish tones and black toned people dressed are just arriving at your house for what would be their first Thanksgiving, Mike. So you are now entertaining pilgrims.
Ooh, I mean, there's historical references there, and maybe I can change the course of history. I mean, considering my godlike powers, I should be used to that and all. But yeah, okay, maybe
big dirty boots, lots of coughing and sneezing going on during the.
Probably they'll shoot my light socket with a musket when I turn it on because they think I'm a witch.
Yeah. They might think you're the Indians. They might call you Indians.
They'll go downstairs and see my Redskins gear, so it's a distinct possibility.
There you go. So enjoy hosting the how many pilgrims came right off the Mayflower at your Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. There'd be kind of a gap there. I don't think the conversation will be that entertaining other than like boat stories. So okay. I'm feeling it a little. I got you. You.
All right, Mike. I'll pick the next one. We're gonna go. We got to go with the main dish here. What do we got to get ready to eat? You got hundreds.
I got hungry pilgrims here, man. They're off the Mayflower.
I have to feed your imaginary friends. I don't know if they actually eat or, but yeah. I'll go first here.
All right.
I told you I'm all about tradition, Mike. You are going to have turkey.
Okay.
Wild turkey.
Intriguing.
Just whiskey. Wild turkey whiskey. There is. There is. That's your main dish. You gather the pilgrims around the table and just start pouring handle after handle of wild turkey. So while you're dealing with the pilgrims, you are just getting blasted off of some wild turkey whiskey.
Yeah, okay. I could totally see those pilgrims drunk are probably not a great crew to hang around with.
They don't have anything to soak up the liquor. They're pretty hungry at that point.
Then they're like, there's no moldy bread that they're used to soak up that wild.
So you're having a turkey dinner, if you will, but it's all in the liquid form that burns like hell when you drink it.
And I can drink whiskey, but I'm not a whiskey drinker. And if I get plastered, I'm a sad drunk. So that's going to add to my Thanksgiving right there.
Oh, yeah. And you don't get water. You don't get to wash it down. Your wife's drinking wild turkey. The pilgrims are slamming wild turkey. A turkey feast, if you will, of a different kind.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm feeling a little. My turn. Scott, I kind of... I'm a traditionalist too, and I feel the same way as you.
Can't take the turkey out of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And oddly enough, I will say, though it wasn't my pick, I did somewhat consider putting it as an answer, wild turkey. But no, you're getting a good, like, how big of a turkey do you usually serve up? 25 pounds, would you say?
Probably a little smaller because I don't have a big group. If I have a bigger group, I'll go bigger, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but whatever size you want, Scott, you got it there. In fact, it's going to be nice and juicy, I know, because it's going to be fried turkey that you're going to be eating there.
Love fried turkey.
Yeah, it's great and all. In fact, as one of your neighbors is going to help you and all, he got a deal on some stuff and all. If I'm looking at the box of these oils, kind of marked interesting. It looks like it was taken from the evidence room. Yeah. It says, property of the police. And this one word keeps on all over it. It says Diddy. Diddy is all over it. It's the oils they're going to use to fry your turkey is from the Diddy freak parties, Scott. So
let me get this straight. I'm serving lube cooked turkeys.
Yeah. I mean, oil is oil. I mean, and we know he had plenty of oil, and those turkey fryers, I mean, that's a good 2-3 gallons and all. I can get expensive and all, but you don't have to worry about prices this year, Scott, because you're going to have nice, crispy, Diddy oil turkey for Thanksgiving.
So I just picture people going to poke it with a fork and it slips away. The turkey's just sliding down the table.
You might have to put like those corn cob things like by the turkey so it doesn't slip away, or maybe nail it down.
Now, you realize these are the ramblings of a mad scientist or someone with mental illness. You've now thought about inviting your imaginary friend and a lube cooked turkey. That's what you thought of today when we were coming up with this really stupid bit that
like I said, I didn't want to take away from your guests. Yep. I didn't want to take away from your tradition. So I wanted to inconvenience you, but at the same time, I didn't want to take away from you, Scott. I want you to stare at that golden turkey you've been looking forward to for 300 some days and just know in the back of your head and all, there's when you see mom put a little piece of turkey in her mouth, you have to question if you're going to say something or not.
Now, you said it was from the evidence file. Is this used oil already, or is this brand new?
You would have to ask the police on that, Scott. And all it could be fresh lube. You might be lucky. Maybe you grab the later boxes, but
wow. Yeah. Okay, I don't even know where to go with the rest of my Thanksgiving. So, lube turkey, got it.
Yep.
This might be the third episode in like 5 that has the title lube in it, but
this one better not disappear. That's all I know. That is all I know.
All right, Mike, you're up.
It's my category. I'm going to do the sides and desserts, Scott, because we need to know what's going with that delicious lube turkey right there. And Scott, again, I don't want to take away from you.
No, you never do.
Never do. I'm a good person. I know how much you love Thanksgiving. So you got all the full sides and desserts. You got your stuffing. You got the cranberry sauce, whether you prefer the can or like the real cranberries. You got the mashed potatoes. You got the pumpkin pie.
Yep.
And, of course, you can find them all where you see the gravy boat. Now, the gravy boat. See, that's what I call the canoe in the middle of your lake and all surrounded by brown water. So if you wanted anything to go with lube turkey, you have to jump into the brown water, swim into the middle of the lake, and grab it out of the canoe and take it back to your plate.
So my desserts are in a canoe in the middle of the lake?
Yeah. Surrounded by brown water.
Why is my lake so brown?
Could be many options, Scott. I mean, again, I don't test the water at your lake. I don't check the evidence files to tell you what kind of lube you're using on your turkey and all. I am just informing you where and how you're getting your items.
So if I'm standing correctly, it's dessert time at the Brennan house. I'm throwing my bathing suit on, swimming into the middle of the lake and grabbing a canoe full of desserts.
Yeah, well, like you can only take your servings and all. I don't want you to decide like Dad. You come back and Dad's like, I wanted the chocolate silk pie. I didn't want the pumpkin pie. I don't want to tick off Father Brennan. So everybody has to go out and get their sides in the brown water in the canoe in the middle of the lake to go with the lube turkey.
Okay. I was with you on lube turkey and imaginary friends, but now we have a mysterious brown body of water.
The gravy boat. What's so hard to understand? Everybody has a gravy boat for Thanksgiving. You have yours.
This show has jumped the shark, folks. It's episode 492. We have officially lost our minds. Let's not send this to potential guests. This is the one to listen to.
Well, was listening about your Lube turkeys, and this is not the correct show for the magician from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Can't wait till we try to get like a scientist on or something like that. And this is what they hear. But okay. Mike, I'm a traditional guy. I want you to have a nice Thanksgiving. So all you're having for dessert is a cake.
Oh, that cakes are delicious.
Cake. Yeah. So everyone gathers around.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a little, it's not just a cake, it's all the ingredients to a cake.
Okay.
So,
I mean, why would I want a cake without all the ingredients? I wouldn't.
Oh, no, but they're not cooked together. It's just everybody's sitting around next to sugar, a bowl of sugar. They have flour. They have eggs that they need to crack, maybe some chocolate. So everybody's just sitting there with the ingredients to a cake, and you need to eat them.
Okay. Like I've seen the cinnamon challenges, so it can't be that hard. If we have like a cinnamon bun cake.
This is my tribute to Always Sunny in Philadelphia here, where they're playing Charlie McDennis, and he has to eat the ingredients to a cake. So I figured all your guests, all the pilgrims, would love to, put some flour in their mouth, put an egg in their mouth, an uncooked egg.
I mean, a homemade cake is too much work, Scott. I'm just gonna get a good Duncan Hines and a spoon and have everybody take a spoonful out of that.
Oh no, you don't get actual cake. You just have ingredients.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I had the box and like the oil and the eggs all there. But come on, I'm a busy man. I can't make homemade cake, let alone in this scenario, purchase homemade cake products.
So you have, a nice stick of butter for them to chew on. It's delicious.
It's delightful. Mm-hmm. They eat it at the fair all the time. So,
all right, Mike, let's go to some entertainment at the house. Entertainment. Thanksgiving is a day of watching TV. There's usually a lot of good musicians on at the halftime shows and the parades, right? The parade is one of the biggest parts of Thanksgiving.
Of course.
And they're filled with marching bands.
Yeah.
So coming to your house is your personal marching band just playing in the house the entirety of Thanksgiving. So I'm going
to have like 40 high schoolers with tubas and brass instruments and somebody with that big freaking drum just going to town for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, so just burn, just nonstop, boom, all crammed in your living room as hundreds of pilgrims are sitting around, marching band, just having a blast. They're a good band. I'm not going to get you some, budgety kind of band. They're one of the top bands in the States. So, I mean, I'm just helping you out here.
On a side note, when I went to high school, the 1 year I played football, I remember our high school band was more popular than our football team. We were like 1-9, and nobody cared about our team. It was only the high school band. And the caveat was our high school band was invited to the Macy's Day Parade, but the superintendent at the time said no. They had to be there for our homecoming game against North Brunswick, the game which we always lose by 30 points every year. So instead of a lifetime story of I was in the Macy's Day Parade, they got to brag. I got to watch the worst football team, high school football team, all New Jersey, lose by 30 points to somebody who's only like 15 minutes down the road.
You've played on a lot of high quality sports teams in your life.
I noticed that. Yeah, I mean, most of my sports stories are, and we sucked.
Yeah. One of your big memories just popped up recently about your IT soccer team.
Yep. The time that they finally won a game and I was at work, so I couldn't even attend the one freaking game they actually won. So
maybe it was you the entire time. Maybe you were the weak link. Maybe they would have went on to win IT cups all over the place.
No. It's clearly they all gathered together and they say, I know our captain ain't here. We got to do it for the Pearls. We got to do it for the Burloo, baby. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Do it for the Furloo.
They like painted your name under their eyes, and on their wristbands. And
Burl's
stuff
316 they had on their eye patches right there. Just thinking of me.
Gotcha. I don't know why you're playing on a soccer team with eye patches, but it would explain.
You don't know how bright it is in those indoor soccer games, okay? That gave us an advantage when we're down by 20.
It would explain your record when your whole team's wearing eye patches. Got it. Okay, my turn for some entertainment, Mike. What am I getting?
Well, Scott, it's still kind of traditional. A lot of people though we got the football and all that and the parades. A lot of people use that time, maybe a Friendsgiving kind of thing, to go to the movies on Thanksgiving when everything's like calmed down and nobody wants to really do much. So
I'm drying off from being in the lake. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Scott, but we're going to bring the entertainment to you and all. You're going to have like a big amphitheater in your household with plenty of seats. And we're going to play the most popular movie right now. We're going to play Wicked.
Oh, cool.
Household, Scott.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. See, now the one little thing is, it's not really the movie. It's the sing-along movie. And since we're renting it out, we have to allow people to come into your house to watch Wicked. So you're probably going to get a bunch of middle-aged drunk people all crowd around you. And all of them are going to try to...
At this point, I'll take some real people. Right now, I have surrounded by imaginary people.
Well, you might get some singing from my imaginary friends during the whole thing. So your entertainment is dealing with the 2.5-hour movie Wicked sing-along, where every drunk, middle-aged person thinks they can sing and tries to hit every note of the movie.
I mean, that should go good with the Lube turkey. I'll shut them up a little bit. Just like, guys.
And if you guys are hungry and all the gravy boats out there, jump on in. Plenty of mashed potatoes out there.
All right. So a lot of drunks singing Wicked. Okay. I think out of your 4, this was maybe the most normal train of thought. Mm-hmm. The other ones, you might want to question yourself after the podcast.
Never will.
Okay. Loud drunks singing Wicked. Got it. All right, Mike, that brings us to our last category here.
Last category, our little wild card here, Scott. So, again, this whole time, I never took anything away from you, and I'm still not going to take any away from you. I know you're hosting, so you might be busy, but a lot of people get excited thinking about the Macy's Day Parade. And I know there's a chance that you won't be able to watch it, so I want you to experience it throughout the day. So through the entire day, you and all your guests are going to be tied and keeping down a Macy's Day balloon as you try to do all your activities throughout Thanksgiving, which also includes trying to swim while you're connected to a very large helium balloon.
So your imaginary friends, the drunks coming over to see Wicked, and my family are all attached to large Spider-Mans or Blueies or Snoopies.
If you got to go to the bathroom, you got to make sure enough people are coming with you to bring the balloon close enough to get to the toilet.
No, that's a good question. Are those balloons filled enough to take a person up into the air by them? Like, could I hold a Snoopy balloon down by myself?
From what I've read up, these balloons weigh anywhere from 500 to 700 pounds.
Okay. So I would assume if they're floating, that would be enough to carry someone, right? Like if all my crew fell and I was left with just the one line, would I just, would it be like up?
I don't know, because there's been very windy days where I'm sure enough people got loosened up, but the balloon never took off. It's more of a matter of it takes 12 people to make a quarter of a turn.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to do a verbal shenanigans Mythbusters. Well, first we'll purchase an old balloon.
Yeah.
From the parade.
Yeah. What's a cartoon they canceled or something?
It's got to be an Aunt Jemima balloon or something. We'll fill her up, and we'll see if it takes one of us up in the air.
All right, I'm down with that. No, that'll be like the Christmas Eve episode.
The General Lee balloon.
I mean, everybody had no problem until they showed the view from the top, you know?
Yep. Yeah. All right. I could see. I kind of like it. It's a little festive, you know. Might be a little hard to cook and kind of get things on the table with, you know, the Jolly Green Giant attached to me. But
yeah, I mean, it's very awkward. It's like, honey, I'm floating in the air. Somebody needs to take care of the lube turkey.
All right, Mike. Thanksgiving is all about tradition. And what would Thanksgiving be without football? You know? So I'm giving you football.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Lots of football, actually.
Oh, I love lots of football.
The only thing you're getting, though, is the last decade worth of Giants football.
Oh.
Yes. So all Giants football for the entirety of Thanksgiving, just loss after loss. And you might enjoy that personally.
I mean, like, I'm getting Geno Smith.
You're
Giants.
getting Geno.
I'm getting Tommy DeVito.
Yep.
Giants.
Danny Jones.
Maybe a Danny Cannell in there.
You're getting Pat Shurmur Giants, Joe Judge Giants, Ben McAdoo Giants. You're getting this whole decade of just Giants football, and you get to rewatch those classic 17-3 games, those 12-9 games where they drive for 9 minutes and turn it over in the end zone, and then they miss a field goal, and the highest point scorer of the season is Graham Gano, the kicker. That's the kind of football you get to watch all day long on Thanksgiving.
I mean, how am I going to describe this to the Pilgrims, though, Scott? like I got to explain to these people from the 1400s and no, this is enjoyable.
Yeah. So you got to explain to them what cake tastes like. You got to explain to them, football. You got to explain to them that there's no food, there's only alcohol. Why the marching band is there? They've probably never heard such things. So yeah, you have quite a Thanksgiving ahead of you.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely a situation I'm going to have to deal with, but I mean, I'm confident that you're going to have a great one where you're just hearing my imaginary friends all day, and you get to eat that nice, delicious ditty turkey. Just let it soak in your mouth while you have to prepare for all the drunk people that are coming into your house to sing along to Wicked. And then if you're still hungry, you dive into the brown water to get your canoe side dishes while attached to a Macy's Day balloon.
I just had a horrible image in my head. One of the best parts of Thanksgiving is a little turkey sandwich at night.
No mayonnaise necessary, buddy.
Just going for a turkey with like congealed, dried up lube on it. Spreading that bad boy on some bread. Yeah.
And usually you like to put the other stuff in there, so you have to dive into the water to put like the stuffing on top of the congealed turkey.
Well, I don't know. Tell us what you guys think. Who had the worst Thanksgiving? Was it Scott's take on traditional Thanksgiving, or was it Mike's Mad Hatter wild Thanksgiving? Let us know. I gotta say, lube turkey is gonna stick with me through the next couple of days. I'm gonna tell you that much.
You're getting a text on Thursday. I'm gonna ask your wife. All right, when is he about to put a piece of turkey in his mouth? When is it about to happen? Send.
Yeah. When she asks you why, that's going to be the funnier part.
Shut up, tell me.
Well, that is the inconvenience draft, if you will, or ruin a holiday, whatever you want to call this bit. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Well, Scott, as we kind of inconvenience our Thanksgiving and all, I had an actual inconvenience occur to me a couple weeks.
Not an inconvenience.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Wipe your tears away. I'm doing fine, but I'll kind of explain away what happened here. So a couple weeks back.
I hope you would explain. It'd
Yeah.
be kind of weird if you were like,
no, we're just gonna sit here and let you think about it.
let's play Guess My Inconvenience.
No, it didn't involve a shoe. Guess again.
4 hours later, nope.
But so we went into the weekend. We were ready to meet and greet Izzy's dad and stepmom. They were going to fly down, and lo and behold, they got in a car accident before they got here. They're all fine. Everything's fine. Just the car got beat up. So I went into the weekend thinking, all right, all our plans were going to be centric on taking them around. There was no thoughts on alternate plans. So we had to kind of change things around. So as I've talked about before, Izzy has a lot of music friends, and she's like, oh, since this Friday's available, my friend's doing karaoke at this bar like 1.5 hours away. I really want to go to it. And I am not a karaoke person. I have no desire to do it. I don't generally go to a lot of my wife's like open mics and stuff like that, just because like music's not like my major thing or whatever. But
What
we
do
had
you
nothing
mean?
else.
After that national anthem, you should have got up and showed the world what you got.
Ironically, it was like I think it was the day after the national anthem episode recorded, but anyway, so we start driving there, and we stop off for gas, and I don't know why going into it, I said, okay, I'm going to have a convenience store taco just beforehand.
Oh,
and all.
Okay.
Now, the taco doesn't get involved in the way you think, but I wanted to kind of preface with the story now. So, just said out of the blue, I'm going to just eat this. We get there around like 7:00. The place is absolutely packed. They have like a Sweet 16 going on, and I guess it's like their big crowd for Friday night karaoke, whatever. So get there at 7. We sit down. Waitresses don't come around to like 7:15 to get our order and all. So we're waiting around for this karaoke and all, waiting. We don't even get our drinks to about like 7:50 at night. This is how bad we're getting on that. And we're not even talking about food. So we're just going along. Now the karaoke starts, and Izzy goes up and does one song, and she's getting a little ticked off with the person who's running it, because this guy is just all across the board. So I guess like when they started, only a couple people signed up. So Izzy's like, oh, I'm so excited, love singing. She like signed up for 4 songs, and you see on the big board, it's like, all right, Izzy's second, and then like Izzy's fourth, Izzy's fifth, Izzy's sixth, stuff like that. And the guy keeps on switching the order on her, and it's taking her off. It'd be like, okay, I'm up next, and he's like, oh, we just had a bunch of people come in. We want new people. Well, let's give it up for Gary. And Gary goes up and whatever, and Izzy. And like 3 people go up, and then he's like, all right, I'm next. And he's like, all right, we're going to take a 20-minute break, and turns off the mic and goes away. And then he'll come back, and he's like, the Sweet 16, let's do something for them. And like the Sweet 16s dancing on the floor. He's like literally changing the order every 5 minutes just as Izzy's going up. So she's starting getting pissed off. Meanwhile, we're getting on 8:30. We still don't have our food right now. And this is where I'm getting like thankful for eating
your gas
the
station
gas station taco.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like freaking hangry right off the board. And I try to be nice to these people, but at the same time, they're not like really forthcoming with details on the situation. And yeah, we're busy. Then I'll kind of tell how the story changed later on in the night. But we get to about like 8:50. We're at a table with like 12 people, and one person got their food so far. And I'm getting to the point, like, I'm so hungry. Like, I see the Sweet 16 girls, like, walking around with cake And I'm literally thinking of any
That-
way. It's like, how do I
There
go up
is
there?
the isolated sound drop of the century. I'm so hungry. I see the Sweet 16 girls walking out with that cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am literally trying to come up with some converted way of like stealing a cake from over. This is how bad we're getting. We get to 9:10. So we're now over 2 hours in. And I think they served like 6 of the people at the table. And they give this one guy his burger with fries. And he like hails her down. He's like, no, I ordered a side salad. Give me a side salad. I don't want these fries. He's like, do you? And before he got the sentence in, grabbed a handful of cold ass, terrible fries and shoved it down my throat. I didn't even give him the option of finishing the question to avoid getting food in my stomach at
So
this time.
you just went straight forward to a rando burger and just started going after it.
Like I just look, his plate was like literally next to me. So the second he goes, "Oh, I don't eat fries. Do you?" And just wham, hand goes down, handful of fries, hand goes shoved into my throat. Kind of moments right there.
Now, why didn't you guys like at any point where you're like, let's just get out of here and like go eat down the street somewhere?
So this is in Franklin, Georgia, which not as developed as many cities. Like at one point in the 8:30, like Izzy was telling her friends, "I'm starving. I'm going to order Domino's," and they literally said, "There's no restaurants within 50 miles of here." They literally said they like DoorDash and Grubhub doesn't even deliver here. That's how
Okay.
boondocky we're talking about in the area. So it took us till about close to 9:30 before we got our food. And they screwed up our food completely. And the wife ordered salad, like an apple strawberry salad. There's no strawberries in there. I got some kind of like spicy chicken thing. It was stringy and rubbery, and I was too starving to even care. I just shoved it down my throat.
This sounds like the Inconvenience Restaurant draft.
But pretty close. Yeah.
Two and a half-
Yeah.
two and a half
it actually
hours.
meshes up pretty well.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
No strawberries on the strawberry salad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. I asked for onion rings. They gave me the same terrible fries as they gave the other person. It was just bad and all. Then maybe like 5 minutes into eating, one of Izzy's friends comes up to her and then says, and all, they just told me there's a medical emergency going on. You're a nurse. You need to help us out and all.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're like saying somebody's having a heart attack or something to that effect.
It'd be funny if it's just you on the floor dying of hunger.
They are so disorganized. They said there's somebody in the back. There's somebody in the back. So Izzy starts walking into the back where like the cooks are and whatever. And then they start go, oh, wait a minute. But there's somebody in the front. There's somebody in the front. There's somebody in the front. So she starts walking to the front. And we go to the front and they're like, oh, are you the guy having the attack? And he's like, he basically said like something to the effect of, no, I'm having an asthma attack, but that's not me. It's the girl over there. They're outside debating on who the emergency person is.
They're so disorganized. They're playing who's having a heart attack.
Yeah. It's like, no, that girl's having a heart attack. And Izzy would go to the girl, and the girl's like, well, no, I mean, I'm not feeling great, but I'm not having a heart attack. He's having a heart attack. And this is going back and forth for like 5 minutes.
This sounds like one of the punishments they would do on like Impractical Jokers. Like you got to go find the person who's having the fake heart attack in this crowded restaurant.
Yeah. Then it got to the point where Izzy just like, somebody's like, oh, somebody called an ambulance. And she just went in. She was like pissed off that somebody's dying outside, for lack of a better term right now. Then we go back in and they screwed up the order one more time. I know this is when Izzy is pissed. When she's telling me I want to go, she has an opportunity to sing, and she's like, I want to go. And I go to the front to pay the bill, and everything they did was wrong on the bill. They're like, yeah, we had an extra waitress here tonight, and she showed up and she walked out. She just said, "F it, I'm leaving." And all. Then the people in the back, we're down about 2 people in the kitchen, and also we were using somebody else to cook the stuff. And then
Using somebody else, just
Yeah,
like the guy we found.
yeah, they probably grabbed a bartender and all. You ever made a burger? And like, I think so. And they're like,
Yeah.
you're the cook now. So we literally were there half the night, and I just said, F it. We paid the bill and we left. And I just literally told her, I'm like, you ever tell me to come here again, I'm literally ordering a Domino's pizza and eating it in the parking lot before I even step into the household. So
Now, is this a place that she's been before to sing, or is this?
she's never been there before. Like, her friends swear, like, there's like 10 people there, and like 8 of them are actually like live closer to us. But apparently they go there because the other 2 live closer to there, and that's like their hangout. And they even were like, as Izzy was like joking about and all, oh, and like she saw him the next day and she joked about, no, oh, maybe they have my food ready by now. And they're almost like insulted, like, how dare you insult our great karaoke bar kind of moments. So
Wow.
the moral of the story is,
And then it was an hour and a half home after that.
yeah, and I drove an hour and a half after that. That was my Friday evening, and I blame my father-in-law for getting in a car accident. You are a SOB. I'll see you in February.
So his inconvenience of a car accident is what inconvenienced you.
You heard the story. I wouldn't have had to dealt with it if he came down. If he came down, I know him. It's just Italian, and we've been in an Italian restaurant, and it'd been nice. But no, I had to get.
And did you offer him some lube turkey, maybe as a sign of?
Well, he's never been down for Thanksgiving, so I mean, now that I invented it, maybe I can give it as a gesture to him, and maybe he can bring it back on the plane to share it with people when he leaves Georgia.
Did the person actually have a heart attack? Like, or did they?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think he had like an asthma attack or something equivalent, but like he was literally debating people who were saying like, "Oh, sit down, you should do this and that." And I don't know if he was like saying, "No, I'm fine," or literally like, "I don't want to go into an ambulance." But like everybody wouldn't give enough evidence. I have zero clue if it was the girl or the guy that the mechs came to look at.
I mean, it sounds like a great time. I don't know why you're complaining. I mean, there was mystery. It was kind of like a murder mystery, like who done it, who's having it. You didn't know what food was coming out. You didn't know when. You didn't know who was going to sing. Like, everything sounds really fun.
I don't know what kind of cake the Sweet 16 girls had.
Yeah, those sweet. You never came up with a way to actually get the cake, huh?
There was no way. And then like I said, I should have took my opportunity when the guy hosting the karaoke was like, "Oh, everybody on the dance floor, Sweet
Mike,
16."
You should not have taken the opportunity to invade a Sweet 16's cake. I've seen you at like breweries approach people and just pet their dogs. And like, what the hell? You're just going to appear in a Sweet 16 as a man in his 40s and just say, "Can I have your cake?"
Well, I'm a cool 40, so I think
you're not. No, you're not.
I mean, I'm a pretty cool 40.
No, why would what about you considers yourself a cool 40?
Well, like I would have went up to him and like, "Hey," like snap my finger and pointed at them. I think that's what the teens do most days.
So if the angry dad comes over and he's like, dude, what the hell are you doing here? This is my daughter's cake. And you said, "No, man, I'm cool. Listen, I
talked to your daughter in the corner. No, we have an agreement, and part of it is daddy gets cake."
Wow, but how would you prove to him that you're cool? Like, what cool things about would you tell
him? I would just like snap my fingers and point at him, and he would know.
So you're a man. You're not going to say anything. You're just going to go cake and point at it.
Yeah. When you have confidence, you're just cool all the time. And
now you have confidence.
I mean, I should have had confidence that night. If True Burlew showed up, the story would have been, "Scott, I had 16 cake all night."
Well, what would you tell him is the coolest thing about you?
I mean, not this podcast.
No, definitely not.
No,
this.
no.
Wait, you spent 10 years trying to interview people and you've been paid nothing?
I had this one person and she made sculptures out of cheese. That's pretty cool.
Oh, God. Well, it is time for us to go here. Mike, what interview, before we go, sticking with the Thanksgiving thing here, what interview do you think you are most thankful that ever happened on this podcast? It doesn't have to be a big one. It could just be like something that surprised you, or like we never imagined getting them, or it happened in last minute, or whatever it was.
I'm going to say D. Snyder. He was my musician growing up, and I was a big Twisted Sister fan. Just the shock of like some of these, it's like I sent them in like, yeah, they're going to reply back. And it was literally instantaneous, kind of sure, and just not only just getting it, but like that was just one of the most purest, like cool interviews of all time. That's what I should have done. I should have acted like D. Snyder to those Sweet 16 girls, and they would have understood right there.
Yeah, they would have known who he was. That's like not only was it cool to get him, because we've had a lot of people who are cool to get, and the interview was okay, but he was a really good interview. So I'd have to agree with that. I'm torn between two that come to mind. One of them was Kevin Eastman from the Ninja Turtle, who created the Ninja Turtle. It was just like the way it went down. I had emailed this person, I don't know, years before, and like some random thing came in, and it was like, Kevin has like 6 15-minute slots or something like that on this day. And it was just really cool to get it. He stayed on with us for a couple extra minutes. And so that I always held that interview in high regard. And I got to say, John Walsh from America's Most Wanted still sometimes seems a little surreal to me that he came on some dinky little podcast. I think sometimes back in those days, we had the early advantage of like, not every person and their mother had a podcast. So it was like a little bit alluring to come on like some kind of media of some sort. Now I think the competition is much bigger to get some of these people, and I get ghosted a lot more, I think, than in the past. But things still seem to be rolling here. So those would be my two. Mike, I already know your answer. What's your least thankful interview?
Why play around with the answer zap? Second zap, not first zap, as I pointed out before.
Yeah, zap from American Gladiators. I think I'm saying least thankful is Butterbean for me, because I was so thankful to get him on. I thought it was one of the coolest gets we ever had, and it was so disappointing between the audio quality, between the length of time, between him not wanting to like answer anything, and he was like, don't even know what he was really saying at the time. He's like, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? Like, this is a strange, awkward, like, what do we have him for 5 minutes or something like that? Or
no, we had a good 20 minutes or so like that with him, and kind of add to that awkwardness is we've heard him in other podcast interviews since, and he's just opened up and having fun, where we're just like, where the hell was that dude that day? If he didn't want to do it, don't just tell me no. I mean, as cool as it was, like the result was just so unthankful.
That's what I'm saying, like least thankful for, because I was the excitement to result ratio was way off there. So that's why I picked that one. But that's it, guys. Anything to promote, Burlow, before we roll out of here?
Well, I'm going to promote my lovely wife and her singing career.
You're not going to promote the bar you went to?
Tom's Place in Franklin, Georgia. That's a no. It's the first place I ever decided to open up a Yelp account just to give a 1-star review. So,
wow.
Yep.
You got on the Yelp.
Yep. And I never do that. I've gone to places where I found hair in my burger and I didn't complain to them. That place I chose to do it. But
got on
I
the
don't
Yelp.
know how that intertwines with my lovely wife, Izzy Burlew, whose album is out right now, Shatter the Patterns. It's on Spotify, YouTube, all Apple, all your devices and all. She has 12 songs and all. She plays her own guitar. She sings and all. She got an amazing voice. Shatter the Patterns is a great song. Just absolutely getting a lot of credit from people down here and you should really check it out because it's an enjoyable album. Again, Izzy Burlew, Shatter the Patterns.
And I'm not going to promote much besides ourselves, of course, but I just wanted to say I think people should go back if you want a fun interview or interviews. The last three have been really good. Going back to episode 489, the Halloween episode, that kind of sums us all up. We play a really deep, long game that's just kind of fun, Halloween game. And we had a great guest, Alan Bellarnadelli from the Church of Pain. And those are guys who suspend themselves by hooks. So really interesting. And then 490, we had Sam Goodwin, who was imprisoned in Syria. And he made it out, which is a really cool story. And then last week we had Scott Martin Brooks on, the What's Up guy from the Budweiser commercial. So I think we're on a little bit of a roll here as far as good interviews. So go check them out and keep sharing, keep subscribing. We got some interesting stuff coming up in December, maybe some extra content, but we will get to that hopefully next week. That's it, guys. Other than that, life is funny. We'll laugh at it. Keep the wind at your back.
And make sure your turkey is totally defrosted before you dip it into the hot lube.